Hello everybody, how are you today? Welcome to today's video. So we're going to be talking about the time that I turned down a $20,000 per year bookkeeping client, right? So I want to kind of walk you guys through this scenario on what happened, why did I turn the client down, and was I able to redeem myself, right? So stick around to the end of the video so you can get all the details on that. So while everybody's jumping in, quick introduction. My name is Krista Tyus. I teach tax and accounting professionals how to get more clients utilizing social media. So we get clients on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Google. Now we're transitioning to TikTok, right? But I teach tax and accounting pros how to get clients and scale to $250,000 per year. All right, so I want to talk about, and this week you're going to see me talk more and more about bookkeeping, right? I actually, last night I was taking a bath, as I probably do at least 4 or 5 times a week. Somehow, like when I sit in the bath, it's like I literally just get to stop thinking. But then, of course, that's when all of my great ideas start flooding to me. As soon as I stop thinking, as soon as I turn it off, all the ideas start flowing to me. So I always have my phone by my side. I have a notebook with a pen or a pencil because I know soon the idea is just gonna start flowing. So last night while I was in the tub, I get all these ideas or all these memories, that's the word. All these memories start to bubble back up on my bookkeeping experience, right? From the time I got my very first bookkeeping client to all these different bookkeeping situations that came up over the years. And by the time I was done, like remembering all of these experiences that I literally had a dozen or more bookkeeping experiences in my career, right, over the past 10 plus years. And when I mean dozen memories, I mean like very specific, I either effed up moments, right? I was like, I effed up this person's books, right? It was moments where I was confused, I was bewildered, I didn't know what to do. It was moments where I priced totally wrong and I was like stuck with all this work but little bitty money coming in. Like I wrote down all of the jack-ups, right? The F-ups in my career. I wrote those down on in my notes in my phone. And so I thought it would be really cool to kind of tell you guys some of these mistakes and trials and tribulations that I went through over the past 10 years doing bookkeeping, right? For various types of industries. Like when I wrote down my list, I didn't realize how many different types of clients I was servicing, right? I had clients in real estate. I had clients in property management and home health care and chiropractic. I had a few chiropractors. I had auto mechanic, right? Like I had a caterer, a restaurant. Like I had so many different types of clients over the past 10 years of me being in business that I have, which is why I'm able to draw a lot of experience for you guys. Like there's really not much that I haven't experienced personally by being in business, right? Which is why I'm able to come and teach you guys all the good and all the bad that I do know. All right, so let's talk about this one story, right? This is actually one of my favorite stories to tell because a lot of clients come to me and they are in the same exact scenario that I was in several years ago, right? So I get this call on, just a random day. I'm going about my business. I probably was about 6 or 7 months into starting my business, right? So I started my business in 2012 when I was pregnant with my son, Charles. I gave birth to him in September, and I had my first tax season January 2013, okay? So this is the timeline. So this client called me probably summertime of 2013. So tax season had already passed. And by that time, I was looking for additional ways to bring in revenue. So what I did, I went to Vistaprint. Vistaprint was a thing. Like before Canva, there was Vistaprint, okay? Vistaprint was where you went on their website and you designed all of your business cards, you designed your flyers. Pretty much it was Canva, but for actual print, right? So you were designing all of these, advertising or marketing pieces, and you were ordering them and they will send it to you in the mail. So every week I was getting all these different marketing pieces. I was getting flyers. I had, car decals. I had window decals. I pretty much ordered everything off of Vistaprint. Okay. Shout out, give me some hearts or type of one in the chat if you know, or if you know what I'm talking about, right? Because there's some new school people on here that probably has never heard of Vistaprint or ever even shopped on their website before. But this was pre-Canva, okay, before Canva came about, right? And so I had created these little janky little business cards because, one, it wasn't as user-friendly as Canva, right? Canva makes it dangerously easy to create graphics. I actually love that system. Vistaprint, not so much. You actually, it was simple enough to create, but it didn't necessarily look the best, right? And so, so you guys are typing in the chat now that you know what I'm talking about with Vistaprint. Okay, cool. You guys are my people. So it was simple enough, but it wasn't totally the best designs that you would get with using Vistaprint. So here's what happened. I ordered these business cards to show that I was doing taxes, bookkeeping, and tax resolution, right? Those are my three main services because I did become an EA before I started my business. I was QuickBooks Pro Advisor certified, right? I had got and taken the QuickBooks training. So I had my Pro Advisor certificate, and I had already went through, I think it was the American Institute of Certified Bookkeepers, right? There's this institute that is pretty old, right? Probably older than me, that has been around, that you can order all of these bookkeeping books, right? So they'll send you, I remember ordering 5 or 6, it was their bundle pack, right, of bookkeeping. And I would get the debits and credits, and I got the book on journal entries, and I got the book on accounts receivable and accounts payable, right? So I got all 5 or 6 of these books, the book on payroll, and I'm reading it. I'm self-teaching myself, right? Because I was not about to go back to college, right? I was a full-time employee working at the bank, and I was a mom, right? A single mom, and now I'm pregnant. So I didn't want to go back to school. So before courses, right? All these online courses and coaching and training programs, listen, you had to go to Amazon and get the books, right? And learn by reading the books. So I had all these books, right, that I was studying bookkeeping on, trying to figure it out. And if I'm honest, I was still confused on half of the stuff. I was like, what is a accrual method, right? I'm trying to figure out how to accrue insurance, right? I'm still a little bit confused. So I get these business cards, I order them. And I remember watching Annetta Powell. She is in network marketing, or she used to be in network marketing. And she was a big influencer when I was on social media, right? And she would talk about how she would take these business cards and drop them randomly around the city, right? She told a story that she went into Walmart, and she would put business cards in the pockets of the jeans, right? And I was like, man, this lady is ingenious. Because when people buy the jeans and they go to put them on and they put their hand in their pocket, they see her business card, right? So she would do this blitz business card drop, right, is what she called it, or something. It was something like dropping cards or whatever, right? So shout out to Annetta Powell, because I don't know this lady, but I was just following her content. So that's what I did. I got all my Vistaprint cards, and I started dropping them around the city. I would go into every restaurant that I would go into, I would drop my business cards, right? I would get my nails done, I would drop a card, right? I would just be dropping cards all over the place, right? I would just be leaving a trail of business cards. Well, let me tell you, I get a call one day from this guy. He's like, hey, I need bookkeeping done for my property management company. I'm on the phone with him okay, I have no idea where this person is coming from. I forget that I'm dropping business cards, obviously. And I'm talking to him. He's like, yeah, can you come to my office? Can we meet you? Can we talk to you so we can show you what we have going on? So I said, absolutely. So I set the appointment. I go to his office probably the next day. I get into his office. He has a staff of property agents. He has, this cute little office in the city of Detroit, and they're telling me that they have hundreds of property in this city, and they need a bookkeeper to clean it up because they have been doing their own bookkeeping. And I'm like, you've been doing your own bookkeeping with hundreds of property? How? They're we just been using Excel spreadsheet. And I'm like, oh, dang, this is a lot. So they were in business for about 2 years, hundreds of property now in the city of Detroit. Now, sidebar, you know, it's not hard to get hundreds of properties in Detroit, especially the way that they were purchasing it, because they were buying homes from the tax sale, right? So when you are buying homes that are foreclosed on, you could get homes for as low as $1, okay, in the city of Detroit. You can legit buy a home for $1 or $1,000, but it's dilapidated, right? You have to like either tear it down or rehabilitate it. So is rehabilitate the right word? You guys, rehab is the right word, okay? You have to rehab the home. Maybe I did say it right. Okay, moving on. So I'm like, holy crap, I don't know what I'm doing. I shouldn't even be here. This is what I'm thinking in my mind. I'm like, I shouldn't even be here right now talking to these people, wasting these people's time, right? And so they're like, yeah, we want you to come on and clean us up. We haven't been doing bookkeeping. We've been doing everything on Excel spreadsheet. We need to transfer to a system. We want you to do everything, like get us caught up, right? So I was like, whew, I'm overwhelmed at the time. I'm sitting directly in front of them. And I'm like, I was like, you know what, to be honest, I was like, I can't do this. I can't. I'm like, this is beyond my scope on what I could do, because I'm just now starting to do bookkeeping. They were impressed, one, that I even admitted that. They were like, wow, okay, you can't do it. I was like, no, can't do it, don't want to do it, I don't know, like it just seems like it's too much for me, okay? So I left out of that office with my tail between my legs. I was like defeated. I felt like a complete moron, because I knew that this was a big job, right? I knew that this could be a multi-5-figure engagement, right, with this client. So I leave out of there defeated. Like, it literally depressed me walking out of that office, getting into my little, I don't even know what type of car I had then. Getting into my 1990 something, okay? And I was so depressed. I was like, yo, like, man, that was the biggest bomb ever. I'm like, I'm dropping all of these cards. And I did ask him, I said, hey, how did you find out about me? He's like, oh, I went up the street to get some corned beef and I saw your card in the restaurant. I said, okay, so the card dropping worked, obviously. Not really scalable, but it, you know, it's a way to get your name out there, especially if you're already out and about in the city. So feel free to take that one. And I did a credit that to Annetta Powell, who taught me that. And so I remember going downtown Detroit, and I needed to decompress. I needed to just get some air. So downtown Detroit is really beautiful on the riverfront, right? Because it's right on the Detroit River. And across from the Detroit River is Canada. So you can actually see directly over to Canada. So I go down there. This is a place where people frequently go. They work out down there. They walk. You know, it's a great place to just take a stroll. And I needed to clear my mind. So I'm taking this stroll on the Detroit River. And I'm like, pretty much, listen, I was looking like something out of a movie, like head down. I'm like, just, you know, dragging my feet. I'm depressed that I just turned down this client. And I'm more depressed that I didn't feel confident enough to take on the client, right? By the grace of God, one of my girlfriends, Javay, she calls me. She's like, hey, I don't even know what the heck Javay wanted. Sorry, Javay, I don't remember what you wanted. But she called me. And we were talking. And she's like, well, what's wrong with you? Why do you sound so down? I said, listen, I was like, I just got a call from a potential bookkeeping client. It's a really big job, and I literally just told them no, I couldn't do the job, and I walked up out of there. And she said, you did what? I said, yeah, I told them I couldn't do it, and I walked my little tail up out of there. And what she said really helped me, and it was a really pivotal moment in my life, because she said, okay, she said, why didn't you want to take the job? I said, listen, this is beyond my scope. I have no idea, you know, what to do, how to do it. You know, this will be the first time that I'm doing something like this, and I don't want to mess up, right? I don't feel confident to take on this client. And she said, okay. She said, well, take me back to when you first started working at Bank of America. She said, did you know the job then? Were you confident that you can do the job? Did you know everything about the job when you first started working? I said, no, I wasn't confident, and no, I didn't know everything, but over time, you know, I started to learn. She said, aha. She said, this time is like the last time. She says, you have been in a position at your employer where you didn't know what to do. You weren't sure, right? You were starting brand new. And she said, you figured it out, right? You learned, right? And I said, yeah, you are right. I did learn and I did figure it out. And I did get really good at my jobs back in the day, right? I got a raise and a promotion every year I was at Bank of America. I got a raise and a promotion, right? To a higher position. So I literally went from teller to like business baker in a matter of like 2 years, like 2.5 years, right? So I said, you're right. She was like, call them up and tell them that you made a mistake declining to help them. That, I have to admit, guys, was one of the craziest pieces of advice that I've ever heard in my life. I've never heard somebody say, hey, call this person up and actually tell them that you made a mistake, that you really can do the job, that you just didn't feel confident at the time. She told me to be honest. She said, be honest, let them know that you just got overwhelmed with the scope of the job and that, you know, you started to doubt yourself because you really care about the quality of work that you do. But tell them that you are prepared to research and to go above and beyond and to actually help them, right? And do a good job, right? Learn and do a good job. And I thought that was the craziest thing. I'm like, lady, I'm not about to go to these people and tell them I was nervous and now I'm not nervous anymore, right? I was like, I'm not going to do that. She said, what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that can happen? I said, well, they say no. She said, yes, they'll say no, in which case you already bombed it anyway. You already said no for them. So if they say no, you're not losing nothing, is what she told me. I'm not losing anything. But if I go back and I'm honest and I let them know that I want to try, I have everything to gain. So she coached me in that moment of me feeling doubtful, of me feeling like I couldn't do it, right? Of just not being confident. She was able to pour into me and give me that confidence, okay? So I went back to that client the next day, and that night I had actually went on QuickBooks. I created a mock property management company with hundreds of assets, right? I created the chart of accounts. I created the balance sheet. Like, I literally reconstructed what they were telling me that they had in my mind. I reconstructed it in the QuickBooks account, right? Because QuickBooks does allow you to have tests. It's like what they call it, like test accounts in there that you could play around with. So I was in there all night, like reconfiguring everything, like doing everything from scratch, lining it all up. I created a mock profit and loss. I created a mock balance sheet. I showed all the assets, right? Like, I was really in there for hours, like figuring out. All right, so I'm trying to do a good job, right? So the next day I go back to the office and I'm showing them all these reports. I'm like, hey, I was like, actually, you know, I made a mistake. You know, I was overwhelmed with, you know, the scope that you guys were telling me that you had. I was like, but I went back into QuickBooks and I actually realized that I can do this for you, right? I actually realized I do know how to do this for you, right? And I showed them my mock profit and loss, and I showed them my mock balance sheet, right? I had everything like bounded together, professional like. And they paused and they looked at me and they were like, okay. They were like, okay, we'll give you a shot. We'll give you a shot. But that client turned into a $2,400 per month client. That adds out to $2,400 a month. That's $28,800 a year with one client. I was making about $40,000 at the bank. So with one client, I'm practically replacing my salary that I was making at Chase Bank and Bank of America. And that one client, that big one client, was like the catalyst to my official bookkeeping career, right? Official bookkeeping career. So what do we learn from this? What was your top takeaways from this? Your top takeaway is one, hopefully you got a Janae, somebody in your life that's like pouring into you, right? That's giving you that motivation. Two, I hope you're doing some type of marketing, even if it's something as crazy as dropping business cards around your city. Like, listen, you have to do something. Like, I would have never gotten that opportunity had I not been just trying to do anything that I could do to get my name out there, right? Ooh, Falco says that you are good enough. Absolutely. Do it. Jamora says, do it scared. Absolutely. I was terrified doing that client's accounts, right? For the first couple of months, I still felt like I didn't know what I was doing. But I'm going to follow up with this on part 2 tomorrow to let you know what happened after I got them as a client, right? And actually started doing the job for them. Okay, do not doubt yourself. Yes, beautiful. So the key here is, guys, you're not going to know everything. You're not going to absolutely know all of tax law, all of bookkeeping and accounting. You do want to equip yourself, right? You do want to learn. You do want to take continuing education. You do want to take advantage of certification programs that are free, like the QuickBooks Pro Advisor program. You want to try to learn as much as you can, but let me tell you, even when you do that, you're still not going to feel confident. Let me tell you, I was an EA and I was QuickBooks certified, and I still walked away. Initially, my first inclination was to walk away from that client. So even when you have all the credentials in the world, you still won't feel 100% confident all the time, right? So here is where we are now. We are starting a live bookkeeping class, right? And I'm super excited because Cece with Bookkeeper Bootcamp is actually going to be leading that class, right? Cece has been doing bookkeeping, still does bookkeeping to this day for the past 20 plus years. She is a bookkeeping guru, okay? She can whip some books up in a matter of hours, okay, for clients. So I wanted to bring on someone that was the best at bookkeeping so you can learn from them, so that you can be more confident. So we're going to talk about, you know, what do you do when you get your first client, right? How do you onboard them? How do you clean up their books? How should you be actually categorizing their transactions, doing your journal entries, right? Running your reports. We are going to go over everything that you need in these 3 days so that you never have to walk away from a client because you don't feel qualified or you don't feel worthy to take on the job, right? We want to give you everything so that you feel great about adding bookkeeping. Now, why bookkeeping? Well, I'm going to leave you with this. That was one client, $28,000 a year. How many of those clients, write this down, how many of those clients would you need paying you $2,400 per month for you to be set financially? How many? I want you to type it in the chat. How many $2,400 per month clients do you need to be set to walk away from your 9 to 5, to bring in consistent revenue, to buy your dream home, right? To buy that dream car, to take your vacations with your family? How many clients do you need to actually bring in this type of income? Okay, so best tax says 6. So 2,400 times 6, so that's $14,000 per month. Beautiful. Jennifer says 2. Odamis says 3. Right? Aguila Consulting says 2, right? Yeah, we only need a handful of $2,400 per month clients, and we're good, right? That's between $5,000 and $20,000 a month for the majority of us. But this is the reality of bookkeeping. People always like, well, Krista, well, the marketing that you teach, there's other people in the niches that are going after these clients as well. There's other tax and accounting pros going after these different niches as well. And it's like, listen, we only need 5 or 6 to make $150,000. You don't need the entire niche to live the life of your dreams, to even make $250,000. So are you telling me that you don't think that you can get 6 clients out of the entire country that's in this niche? Just in the real estate niche alone is 21 million real estate investors in the United States. You don't think you can get 6 clients that are making at least $500,000 or more as full charge bookkeeping, right? There's over 1 million home health care agencies in the United States, right? 1 million truck drivers, 1 million chiropractors. So it's probably like 450,000, right? We only need 6. We only need 6. right? To make $200,000, $250,000 a year. So I want you guys to know that there's more than enough opportunity in all these various different niches and industries for you to be successful. So click the link in my bio. I'll be on tomorrow to tell you some more embarrassing stories about bookkeeping, to be transparent and to keep it real with you guys. But I hope I see you in the class with me and Cece. She's going to give you all the goods, right? She's going to give you all the goods. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.